This is what real American patriots look like.
If that's the case, if this is what real American patriots look like, where half of them still have braces on, then I'm sorry to say the future of this country is doomed. If this is what real American patriots look like, then we are screwed, man. Then we need to pack up. Experiment failed. American experiment going under. I'm heading out. I don't know. I'm going to the Netherlands, or Denmark, or somewhere else, okay? Because if this is it, experiment failed. Nick Fuentes recently was unceremoniously banned from Twitter. He's also a political ally of Republican Representative Gozer from Arizona. And if you don't believe me, then you just got to check the fact that Representative Gozer was at his political PAC, at Nick Fuentes' America First political PAC, making a speech. And when questioned on it, he dodges the question. And let's remember, Nick Fuentes is somebody who compared white people sleeping with black people to like bestiality. He is somebody who has questioned the numbers surrounding the Holocaust with his cookie counter. What was it? His cookies in the oven analogy. He is somebody who has a long history of racism and anti-Semitism attached to him. And Representative Gozer thought it was a smart idea to go to his political PAC and make a speech, try to raise support among the Republican base. Anyway, just wanted to show you that elected Republicans, with no punishment from the minority leader, Kevin McCarthy, no punishment whatsoever, is able to go to white nationalist, white supremacist political PACs and raise money with no intervention from his party officials, right? No interruption whatsoever from Kevin McCarthy, no scolding, no nothing. He just dodges a few questions from the media, and it's all okay that he went to a political PAC for a person who compared interracial relationships to bestiality, questioned the Holocaust, and has a long history of anti-Semitism and racism. Means nothing. Oh, and was also involved in the storming of the Capitol, by chance. But if they were able to let everything else pass, what a surprise they let insurrectionists pass as well. Anyway, Twitter has banned Nick Fuentes from its platform due to multiple terms of service violations around the issues of racism, anti-Semitism, and hate speech. Now, the thing that gets me about Nick Fuentes being on Twitter is 2 weeks ago, he tweeted out how he was so angry about him being banned from using social media. But he tweeted out that he was banned from using social media. Number one, how do you tweet out that you're angry that you're banned from using social media? It doesn't make any sense. That's the first thing. Second thing, now that he is actually banned from Twitter, we need to examine the fact that, number one, Nick Fuentes was verified on Twitter. He wasn't just on Twitter, he was verified on Twitter. I'm not verified on Twitter. There's a lot of people who are bigger than him that aren't verified on Twitter. He was an open white supremacist verified on the platform, and it took them so long to take him off the platform. The fact that it took him so long to find, oh, wait, this person we verified and knows is here and I've gotten tons of complaints about, maybe we should remove him for all these terms of service violations. Huh. The fact that it took them so long is shocking to me. Now, here comes along the free speech debate, and it's inevitable anytime anyone gets banned, right? The problem is, this isn't a First Amendment conversation. This isn't a conversation of government censorship. This is a private company, Twitter, making the decision that because you violated the terms of service, which they laid down, that you cannot be on their platform. They don't need to host anyone on Twitter. They don't. Now, we can talk about whether this ban was deserved or that ban was deserved, but they don't need to legally host anyone on the platform. That has nothing to do with the First Amendment. The First Amendment has to do with the government stepping in and deplatforming and shutting you down. That's government intervention on speech, not private corporations deciding whether to host you or not host you. That doesn't make any sense. But he violated their terms of service when it comes to issues like hate speech, and so he was removed from the platform. This isn't a First Amendment conversation. If you really wanted to make the argument that Nick Fuentes shouldn't have been taken down, or this white nationalist, or this racist, or this sexist, or this bot account, or any of these things should not have been taken down, you're going to have to make the argument that private corporations would put their capital, their money, into building their business, need to host everything. That they need to host basically everything that's said. You know how much that would disincentivize companies from walking in and challenging places like Twitter, places like Facebook, and going into the social media space? If I was told, hey Dylan, you want to start a social media company? Wonderful. But just remember that if anybody ever like says, oh, screw the F slurs, screw the N words, screw all this, and just tore into them, or if they flooded your entire website with bot accounts, you have to continue to host them. Why? I don't know, not First Amendment, but free speech? Just a vague gesture towards free speech? Could you imagine somebody walking into a McDonald's and just yelling a ton of racial slurs, and then the McDonald's staff says, can we please remove these people? And then they respond, excuse me, but this is deplatforming. Well, this is my McDonald's, and I don't want you to be yelling racial slurs in my McDonald's. Well, this is deplatforming. This is free speech. This has nothing to do with free speech. Twitter has no legal requirement to host you, the same way I don't have any legal requirement to call up Rob Noor, CTV, Destiny, Mike from BA, Vosh, Caleb Malpin, Jackson Hinkle, anyone, and host them on my show. I have no legal requirement to. And in fact, let's say that I brought any of them on at any time with like, well, if you say this, this, or this, you're going to get removed. And then I kick them off my show. There's no legal requirement for me to host them. It isn't. So it's not a free speech discussion, okay? It's a discussion about platforming in terms of service. If you want to make the argument that Facebook and Twitter all need to be nationalized and made this grand public forum where nobody can get removed, you can make that argument. Then, of course, I'll talk about how this will inevitably get terribly botted and make having conversations on this platform completely impossible, and tons of real people, not bots, will actually flee the platforms because of how unbelievably toxic they will become. And a lot of the data that Twitter's taken in and like looked at has shown that the toxicity of platforms like Twitter is one of the main reasons why people don't use it. So if we increase that toxicity, I don't think that's going to be great for public discourse. Anyway, again, the First Amendment has nothing to do with private corporations hosting whatever you want to say. It has to do with government infringement on your speech. That's the first thing. Now on to the second thing. After he was banned on Twitter, Nick Fuentes made a very smart decision to go to CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference. Now, there was a lot of things that happened in CPAC. Caitlyn Jenner was there, and they were harassed by Republicans, calling them like freak and disgusting and all these other terrible things. Once again, proving my point that the Republican Party will never be an accepting place for LGBTQ plus people in our lifetime. And doing so is just pandering to a group of people that will always hate you. But Nick Fuentes was also there. Eventually he was removed, but he was also there running around with all of his friends. And I wanted to take a look at his little freedom march that he did around CPAC. I think I have footage of it. Nope, this is the Caitlyn Jenner moment. Let me see if I can find this quick. Here it is. Okay, I had it in another window. I wanted to find out if Nick Fuentes' gang of dorks was as impressive as they present themselves online. I wanted to check it out.
Let's flip and go.
Wait, what did he say?
Let's flip and go.
Let's flip and go. Okay, so upon first viewing of this right here, I have to say that the future of the master race does not look good. And I would also like to comment on the fact that this is a group of people who are fighting back against the political establishment for the white race, conservatism, whatever. And they will not be censored. And we got our man right here saying, let's flip and go, when Nick Fuentes was just banned for just a catalog of racist, homophobic, all these different statements. But then they get in public, and the best you can muster from his little gang of schoolyard hoodlums is let's flip and go. This is an uncensored type of conservatism, which I was not ready for.
Groypers are in the building. Yeah. All right, we gotta.
Dude, these are people who exist primarily online. I don't want, you know what? I feel fine bullying a little bit, but I don't want to bully. If you look around here, whether it's bowl cut on the right, the yellow shirt behind him with the glasses and the parted hair in the middle looking like Dwight Schrute, whether it's even Nick, who, I mean, I guess Nick is the one who looks the most, presentable here. But even Nick to a small degree. And then you got the dude in the Hawaiian shirt walking with the wide stance and the shit-eating grin on his face. This is the future of the white race, led by a Hispanic man, Nick Fuentes. First things first. I don't mean to be mean, but I feel like I've stolen half of these people's lunch monies before in my life. I feel like I've stolen their lunch money. At some point in my life, when in middle school, a lot of people don't know, I was a pretty aggressive person. I feel like I might have stolen half of these people's lunch money. They just look like the type, I would shake down back in the day. Just turn up by the ankles, hold above some high surface and just shake the money out of, right? That's what they look like to me. But these also just look like people who found an internet niche group on the internet. They don't have a lot of this is like a first IRL moment for them, and they're just geeking out, fanboying over being around Nick Fuentes. But God, man, this is the least intimidating group of people I've ever seen in my life. And that's not to say I'm a particularly intimidating human being. But damn, man. Damn.
Groyper! 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 Groyper!
The thing is about this group of people, every single person here, is I feel like we could have pulled a type of modern To Catch a Predator with these people. Instead, it would be To Catch a Racist. I feel like if I set down any of these people in a room saying, hey, Nick Fuentes and, I don't know, David Duke or Richard, what's his name? The other racist dude. Any number of racist stars are going to be there. And come over and check them out. Then they come over, nobody's there, and I sit down. And with me, I have their mother. And then I just take out the DMs they've been posting and the tweets they've been posting under the Groyper profile. And just be like, we have the chat logs. And every single one of the people here would just break down crying. Break down crying as we just read N-word this, F-slur that. What's this about the Jews? These are a lot of interesting comments. Mom, would you like to see these? And then the mom just grabs them by the ear and drags them out of the building. These are people that if confronted with what inevitably, if they're hanging out with Nick Fuentes, they've posted online or have said in private or have even said publicly under online aliases, would quite literally break down crying. And that is something that has taken any fear or intimidation you could possibly have of these people. The idea that I could imagine every single one of their mothers or grandmothers grabbing them by the ear and pulling them away you know who we fought in the war? Don't be the enemy. I could see it.
Groyper! 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 Let's go! Let's go! Let's flip and go!
Let's flip and go. This guy on the right here, has particularly stuck out to me. My face is currently covering them. Let me move. This guy right here, that guy's particularly sticking out to me. I feel like this is prime example A of what I'm trying to describe here.
Oh man, this is what real American patriots look like.
If that's the case, if this is what real American patriots look like, where half of them still have braces on, then I'm sorry to say the future of this country is doomed. If this is what real American patriots look like, then we are screwed, man. Then we need to pack up. Experiment failed. American experiment going under. I'm heading out. I don't know. I'm going to the Netherlands, or Denmark, or somewhere else, okay? Because if this is it, experiment failed.
This is America uncanceled. Unchained. Yeah. America first, Donald Trump.
The crazy thing is, Nick Fuentes 100% sees that woman as part of the problem for the colors. Again, I'm pretty sure we have the log showing that he's compared interracial relationships to bestiality and disgusting and how degenerate it is. So, I mean, I guess this woman is just like a Trump supporter, just saw a group of white guys in blazers and bowl cuts and with their braces on. It was like, oh, look, the youth is getting involved in politics and wanted to join in. But given a different set of circumstances, Nick Fuentes would be putting the woman on trial for what she looks like. Quite wild to always to see individuals unknowingly or even knowingly go out and publicly support those who seek their destruction. It's the same feeling I get every single time I see Caitlyn Jenner talk about running for the Republican nomination in California. Caitlyn Jenner is not going to win the governor's race in California. We all know this. But the sad thing is, not only is she not going to win, she is not going to win and has to pay the price of basically being publicly tongue-lashed by all of these conservative commentators like Matt Walsh and the rest of them, right? Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, and all these other conservative commentators and commenters and people at this very conference, we're going to talk about that later tonight, for just being who they are, for being a trans woman, going to publicly get basically lashed in the public square for no fault of her own. I get the same feeling anytime I see her walk into one of these conferences.
We got the whole posse. Nick.
Did he just start chanting his own name? I mean, it's bad enough to see people chant Nick Fuentes, but did he just start chanting his own name? If I heard somebody start chanting Dylan, the worst thing I could possibly do to remove any momentum of somebody chanting my name is to join in the chanting of my own name.
Where are we going? Where is it? We're logging miles. This is Groyper HQ.
I'm trying to figure out. I mean, all of these people are young, obviously. Groypers generally are a younger demographic. But I'm taking a look at these people. Some of them are not even out of high school. Like this guy on the right, I'm sorry, there's no way that this guy on the right here, bowl cut, guy I've been just fascinated with since it started. There's no way that this guy is not at most a senior in high school. The bowl cut is what gives it away. Because there's no human being in their right mind, in a right state of mind, maybe he isn't, I mean he is following Nick Fuentes, would actively choose a bowl cut of their own free will to be their hairstyle.
So far. Sorry, the beginning of our nervous journey. This is based? Yo, it's America first. It's white boy summer. White boy summer. Let's flipping go.
Jesus Christ. All charisma just getting sucked out of the room. What I don't understand here, and this is what I don't get, is how on one hand they can advertise themselves to be such uncensored conservatives, right? True conservatives that isn't held back by SJW nonsense, but just can't say the word fuck.
Yeah. No, don't worry. Where is CPAC?
entrance?
It's in there. Over there? Where is Matt Schlapp? Are you Matt Schlapp?
Gotta channel that inner Joker energy.
I'm Nick Fuentes, yes. In the flesh. I'm the Groyper. Hey, is that Zach Patrizio?
Nick Fuentes and all of these children here, 100% of them, right? In high school or middle school, were bullied, right? We're bullied, or we're excluded, or we're, loners, like the quiet kid that nobody, in the corner. And this right now, this moment where they saw, I guess this report, I have no clue who this guy is. They saw a reporter that they don't like, or conservative they don't like. They're all walking up, boo, right? Listen to him. This was a moment in their lives. It was the first time ever where they had power over another human being. And when I say by power, is by they had the ability to maybe bully somebody for like a second. And they're taking so much joy in it. And they're just going to gather around this guy, none the wiser, and just like boo him. And bully him for, I don't know what. I guess since Nick Fuentes doesn't like him. Yeah, it's the power and mom mentality, 100%.
I'm the Groyper. Hey, is that Zach?
Let's watch the rest of this. This is the last of the clips I'll watch. I'm not gonna watch this for like an hour. Did he just say get groyped? Get groyped? Is that a turn of phrase that I missed? Did I miss that? Is that something going on TikTok that I have yet to be? Get groyped? Get groyped. Was it like got milk? What? If somebody was to describe what a groyp is, what the fuck would they? What's a groyp?
Salon, far left, progressive publication is allowed at CPAC.
But not Nick Fuentes?
But America First conservatives like Nick Fuentes are not. Come back here, we're not finished. Why does your voice sound like that? Why does your voice sound like that?
Why are you so squeaky?
Because you told your supporters.
Sword.
Is he wait. Is Nick Fuentes right here really like mocking like a voice break or voice crack right now? He is surrounded by people in bowl cuts, walking in wide stances with their braces still on. Half of these people have an appointment. The only reason I think half of these people couldn't even stayed at CPAC for the entirety of the event because they had swirlies they had to go to afterwards. What? He can't be bullying somebody for a voice crack. Like half the people who were there with him, if they opened their mouth and talked independently of the whole crowd, you would hear the voice break immediately.
Why do you sound like that?
Foreign money. Bitcoin?
Where's your chin,
Where did the
bro?
Bitcoin come from?
It came from France.
Yeah, exactly.
It came from America
Is the
First
FBI investigating you?
I can neither confirm nor deny that, but why are you at CPAC? You're not a conservative.
I have a question for you.
I don't answer questions
supporters
from the media.
Why did you tell
I'm
your
a
supporters?
Groyper and it's white boys.
Journalists are gay. Yeah.
Journalists are gay. You know, every time I see, so online sometimes, there'll be like a moment where you put out a tweet like, hey, support queer folk or something. And you'll get like a million like messages, right? A million DMs, a million like things that are like, Lamau, queer, F-slur, whatever, right? And at the moment you're like, damn, there's a lot of these people out there. Then you watch videos like this and any amount of actual like, and this is a little unsettling how many of them there are out there, immediately goes away. Immediately goes away. Any intimidation factor they could have possibly had is vanished. It's like, there's a reason why Anonymous, the internet hacking group, is online anonymous, is actually anonymous. It's not just because like they want anonymity and it helps them do whatever the hell they do, but it's also because I'm pretty sure if we saw 50 to 60% of the who consider themselves members of the group anonymous, quote unquote, any intimidation factor would be wiped away, and we're seeing that happen in real time right now.
We've got precious little time.
You got security coming over now.
Nick Fuentes is in the building. Let's go. Guys, they're calling security. Let's get out of here. They're calling security.
How many ones?
I am security.
You are?
Where's my pay?
You're so big.
Come on!
Let's go! Everybody.
Do we love our base?
She is so big. We are doing a press conference at 5 o'clock p.m. at the Sheraton Hotel across the street. It is a real America First uncanceled press conference.
Look at this guy behind. I'm sorry, but like if you look,
Across the street, America First uncanceled press
look at this guy
conference.
behind him. Look at that smile. This is the smile of somebody who just discovered the phenomenon known as social interaction. Dude, I think we're gonna be okay. I think the left has more advantages than we first thought. I think we're gonna be okay. Look, a little white nationalist celebrity, isn't that adorable? Is this like more footage of him? Oh, nah, I don't need to watch more of this, okay? Look, moral of the story is Nick Fuentes got banned. Took him long enough.